Hi, this is John Leslie. Game feature development teams are constantly innovating while also maintaining existing live service capabilities, always with an eye toward reducing technical debt. Working in an iterative and incremental way suits these teams perfectly. Whether it's pure Scrum or a hybrid, this collection will get you started with a game feature backlog to prioritize and estimate backlog items, as well as track them with Favro Relations once they're committed to an iteration. The template also includes an iteration board and a game feature roadmap. Let me walk you through the template. So it begins here in our game feature backlog, which is a list of all of our gameplay mechanics, with the unique ability to take large things such as combat mechanics, break it down to maybe heavy weapons, which further breaks down into those actual weapons. Same thing we're doing here with stealth mechanics. Once you have this fleshed out, then you want to start to prioritize these features as we're doing here. Maybe give them a relative size estimate and points like we're doing in this particular column. Of course, you can create whatever columns you want. Maybe add the tags column to tag to future releases, add members, so on and so forth. Over here in the right-hand pane, we have both an iteration board for this particular team and also a feature roadmap. So let me show you how this works. If a new feature comes into our backlog, you're going to want to give it a priority and most likely a relative size, like so. And eventually this new feature is going to be worked on by your development team. So it's as simple as drag and drop from the backlog to that team's current iteration board to commit it to that iteration, as you see here. So if I scroll over to one of the relations columns, you're able to see that this backlog is also used to track the progress of your features across multiple teams, maybe even potentially. So we can see that this new feature is currently in the sprint backlog for this particular team. As it gets pulled into doing, that's automatically reflected back here in the backlog as well. Now let's say that this new feature gets pulled from doing to testing. Here you can see built into this template, a few automations were triggered, did some automatic tagging, and also added this same card representing this new feature, as you can see here, to the live ops teams board for them to start going through their flow, doing what they need to do to get this feature ultimately ready for release to the players. So now this same feature is going through two flows simultaneously, which can be tracked here, can also be tracked on the card itself in this relations panel. Now say this new feature also needed to be seen in a product roadmap. You could open up this product roadmap board here and simply drag this card up to this board and change the start and end dates by dragging and dropping like this. Now this card, if I open it up, you can see that it exists on 4 different boards. It's refined from a backlog status standpoint, as a child of stealth mechanics. Feature development has it at testing. Live ops has it at selected. And from a roadmap perspective, based on where I dragged it to on that board, it's automatically tagged to release 1. So the board itself, your current sprint board, can be switched from a Kanban view to maybe a sheet view to see more information, or to a timeline view to maybe visualize dependencies between features in this particular sprint. To add a new dependency, I just click one of the cards, say maybe before dependency, and then point to the card that's maybe causing the impediment, like this. You can also switch the boards to charts and graphs, maybe a burn down chart by points, by work remaining, any way you choose to view the burn downs. And then switch back to the default view, which is the Kanban view. And there you have it, a game team feature development template in Favro.